Hello everyone! In this video I will tell you how to control ATEM Mini and OBS Studio by one button click. You can say it's impossible, I will say it's necessary if you are using a compact setup. Let me explain. With help of my Ultrabook, I can set up live streaming, control this feature and display any graphic elements what I need. But it turns out that we are getting some kind of sandwich of programs what are extremely difficult to manage using one screen. Of course you can use several devices to control each element separately, but in this case you can simply forget about compactness. You will get a huge system for which you will need to attract the same huge team to able to control this system. I strove to create a compact solution which I talked about in one of my previous video. However, after some time I realized that turning everything on in time and most importantly smoothly is simply impossible, at least because it takes time to switch or turn on the necessary functions, which is not the case during live streaming. But what if I tell you that I found the solution? This is an open source product created by the guys from BitFocus, and if you will like it as much as I like it, then be sure to follow the link in the description and support me with a donation. This is a not sponsored video, I just really like the product, and I'm using it almost from the beginning in my live streaming. The program calls Companion, and the installation process is so simple. Just download the app, choose the location and it's ready to go. In a couple of words, the Companion will allow us to control ATEM Mini and OBS Studio at the same time by the commands which we can create in it. The interface of triggers looks like a Stream Deck panel, which is also can be connected for controlling of this program. For example, we can set up switching scenes of sources by pressing a single button, or start playing the animation which required from us a few steps of actions before it can go live. Thanks to this app, I don't need to switch from program to program in order to make an action. After running the program we are greeted by a simple and intuitive interface. Here I only interested in two fields. This is the choice of network interface and the port number, which can be left by default. As for the network interface, I always set Ethernet with a specific IP address. Next we can launch the program interface itself, which will be open in your browser. I'm using Google Chrome at the moment. You also can minimize the program and hide this window, so that it goes not interfere with our work if we decide to switch between our programs. If you will close this program instead of hiding, then the interface of program will stop functioning. Just remember about it. In general, we are interested in three tabs only: connections, buttons and emulator, with which we will run our commands. All actions what you perform will be saved automatically, so you don't need to worry about it. And you can export your settings if you would like to. For that, you can go to Buttons tab and on the right side you can import or export full configurations of your settings, in case if you would like to switch from one PC to another or restore your settings. I want to begin from the connection tab. I've already connected two devices, ATEM Mini Extreme and OBS Studio, but I will show you how you can do it on your own. From the right side you can search for any devices which present in this program. For example, I can type ATEM and you can see I found Blackmagic design ATEM, so it means I can add another switcher. Let me show it on my own settings for my switcher. As you can see, we need to put IP address here to control our switcher, and after that we can let the program know which model we are using of this switcher. In my case it's Mini Extreme ISO. If you don't know where to take the IP address, then you can go to ATEM software control program, then go to the file connection. Here you can see your IP address of the switcher. Just remember it and write it in the program window. After that you can save it and your devices will be connected. Just be sure what your status changed from disabled or connecting to OK, so it means that your devices is connected properly. In the same way we can find our OBS Studio and add it, but here's the thing. First of all we need to go to OBS Studio, and if you have version of OBS Studio above 28, then go to the tools and choose WebSocket settings, and you need to remember server port, create your own password, and after that remember your IP address. If you don't know where to find your IP address, then you can go to your Ethernet settings and find it there. When you found IP address, port and created the password, click apply OK and then return to the companion program. After that, put all this data in these fields and click save. As you can see, both devices are connected. Of course, you can connect more devices at the same time, it just depends on your system. Now we can move to button tab. To create a button, select any empty space of the presence. Then click regular button creation and you can name it as you wish. I will call it play. On the right side you can see the main settings of our button. You can customize it and create commands which will be run after clicking on this button. I will go over the whole process of setting up a simple animation. If you want to see the settings of a complex animation, write about it in the comments. Our task will be to bring the animation to life, and for this we will need to perform the following steps. Enable upstream key 1, then switch the scene in OBS Studio to animation and make our source visible, so we can see our animations live. It's worth considering the moment of delay so that everything turns on in a strict sequence at the same time we need. Our first command is gonna be turning on upstream key. So let's try to find this command. Let's write atem and here we can search the following command upstream key set on air. And I'm gonna choose key number 1 and after that we need to put value on air, so it means that our command is gonna be running upstream key. With delay I'm gonna set by default on 0 milliseconds, so our command should be present right after we click. Let's test it. Go to emulator page and click on the play button which we just created, and let's see. Our upstream key is on. Let's turn it off for now. Great, our button is working. Next, we need to change the scene in OBS Studio just to be sure that we are currently located in the right scene. For that, we can just type scene. And you can see OBS set program scene. After that, we just need to choose our scene. And let's test it. Clicking play. And we can see that our upstream key is on. Let's turn it off. And with that we switch to our scene, which we need. And the last command is to turn on our media source. For that, let's try to find our source visibility. And after that we just wanna confirm it, we will choose the right scene. And we need to find our source. In my case, it's gonna be open air. Visibility I will set on true, so it means that our source will be visible. I will set the delay on 0 milliseconds, just to be sure that everything will be turned on right after we click on the button. Let's test it, and don't forget to set your upstream key settings. After that we go into companion tab and let's play our animation and see how it works. As you can see, our animation is playing live by only one click. I hope you enjoyed this video. Write in the comments what you think about using this method, and see you in the next video. Bye!